with me. Christian Hull is joining us for today's episode. So we had one of those cruiser mud shakes, and so that was not a good choice, by the way, and never have one of those. Hughesy apparently peed in her cup backstage at a comedy show. I'm alright, hey, and this is High Scrollers, the podcast version of your favourite group chat. I've been sharing my life online for over 10 years, so what better way? What do we usually say? That's usually Brit's line, but she's not here. Sorry. Anyway, Brittney is currently gallivanting around Europe on private yachts and private jets and doing all of this fabulous stuff while I'm stuck here in Sydney, doll, all by myself. And so I had to source some fabulous guest hosts to join me while Britt is on her European adventure, living it up. And I think it's safe to say that today I am going to live it up just as much as Brittney, because I have one of my longtime social media friends with me. Christian Hull is joining us for today's episode of High Scrollers. So deal me in, doll. Let's go. Christian Hull, welcome to High Scrollers, doll.
Yay! This may not be a yacht or a private jet. There's no shirtless butlers serving us champagne, but we can dream.
Honestly, I think next year we should go to Europe and have our own Euro summer. Although you don't strike me as a Euro summer kind of person.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no, put me in a bunker somewhere. I've come out of hiding literally for this, only because we record, because we're in separate studios right now. Mm-hmm. I live, my building's next door.
Oh,
and
really?
So when your gorgeous producer was like, do you want to do it? I was like, yeah. I'll just pop next door. Easy, done. I don't want to go to Europe. I'm 40. Like, I'm old. I don't want to do all these things. I like watching Britt do them. And I'm surprised she didn't bring you along.
Yeah, I am. And you know what's funny is we were meant to go together. And then she was like, sorry, I'm going to do it with AJ. And I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever.
But
and
you're touring.
I know. But I have this 6 weeks off. And originally we weren't going to put the second shows on. We never plan to do that. So I would have been finished in an ideal world. And I was like ready to go to Europe. And I did Euro Summer last year, but we did like fast paced every day. Mona Lisa, Louvre, Disneyland, all the rest of it.
Didn't you go viral for renting that gargantuan property?
True, yeah.
That's right.
It's so strange because that was just like a hotel listing. I mean, we booked our whole thing through Flight Centre, and she would just, our Flight Centre, what do you call them? Travel agent, was just showing us, and it just looked like, what do you mean must be nice?
Who's one of the servants?
No.
Producer 4?
First of all, we got a travel agent because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I've never done a trip like it. But can I say, in travel agents' defense, everyone goes, oh, it's more expensive. No, because I am a frugal human being, as we know. I always want the best deal. I'm always trying to get the cheapest. Okay, there was a time where I bought a lot of Prada bags, but let's not talk about that. But
there was a time. I think we're still in that time.
I had no money my whole life. So as soon as I got my first check from social media, I went, well, Prada bag. And everyone goes, wow, he must have so much money. I had none. I'd spent it all at Louis Vuitton,
Actually, to be fair, just to explain the current look at the moment, it's probably a Free Muscle Nation t-shirt, hoodie. You've got a cotton on jumper now, no makeup, hair's not even done.
Yeah, no. Well,
you've changed.
This is low effort. I'm getting old, doll. I'm getting
Isn't
old.
It? Low effort is my favourite.
But that's the thing is, where was I even going with all of that? Oh, the travel agent. No, I want to defend the travel agent. Sorry, because I obviously behind the scenes was also trying to get my own better deals and be like, well, you've told me it was 5,000. Well, I've got it for 4,000. But I couldn't find anywhere online. And sure, a few things may have been a couple dollars different, but and a couple dollars cheaper if I'd done it myself. But realistically, she did a 2-month trip for me. If she makes the commission off it, let her.
Perfect. But also she booked you an entire palace on the water, like a whole.
I know.
It was so massive. It was just you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just us. There was no one else there the entire time, and it was the most bizarre experience. But I mean, it worked out for the best because not only did we get to relax in private, we also went viral, and we love that. And you are no stranger to going viral online, doll. So I'm very excited to have you on High Scrollers because there's going to be a lot of things to talk about that's going down on social media. We just had a little bit of a talk. Scrollers, you're in for a treat today.
Oh, so much happening.
So much going
also,
on.
I don't want to get cancelled. I'm so scared of being cancelled.
Really? On High Scrollers? You know what? I don't think you will, because here we have, I want to say, a little bit of a hall pass in a way with our followers because, sometimes I see...
No, go on. Sorry.
No, well, I was going to
It's
say
just going to be a podcast of us interrupting each other.
Well, sometimes I see other podcasts getting cancelled for what they've said online.
Yes.
And I look at High Scrollers and I go, well, if they're getting cancelled for that, surely we say so many out-of-pocket things here.
Yeah, but you got, I wouldn't say cancelled. The internet did come for you a couple of weeks ago when you were confused that shark was being served at fish and chip shops, which also I had no idea.
Thank you. Yes, because
And
the
I don't know
internet
why
was going
people
off at me.
Came for your jugular, but that's that's the biggest worry for me is a clip taken out of context. Like, I don't say anything polarizing, but if you just scroll on TikTok, everyone complains about everything.
Yeah, and I've got the perfect reason why, and I've said this 10 times on the podcast, I feel, but I think it'll blow your mind, is right now everyone is really angry at the government, at the cost of living, at not being able to do what they want to do, not being able to afford whatever it is they want to afford, and they're angry. Where is the only place that they can let out their anger?
Yeah.
Us, social media.
Yeah.
So in the same respect, I totally get it. Like, I'm obviously like, oh, I hate being on the brunt of it. But at the same time, I go, these people are just really angry and upset with their own lives, and I'm the only person that they can take it out on now. So, it's the Libra in me. I'm just like, well, let's just forgive and forget.
Oh, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm like, go away. Leave me alone.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm a bit Capricorn because, as you mentioned, I've been on tour a little bit. And
A little bit?
A lot. And I am in my Capricorn era of rest and go away, everyone. But you, as you came in today, said you wanted to ask me something about something that I'm doing on tour. And
So
where did you want to go with that?
Yeah, because I've done tours, I can't do them anymore because it is the most exhausting. It's just a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, but it's a lot. And I was just surprised that you're making content while you're on tour. And one of the things resonated. Oh my gosh, I was screaming at the phone being like, yes, someone's finally doing this. The best tap water in Australia.
What are your thoughts and opinion on tap water?
Okay, firstly, the number one, Melbourne.
Oh, really? Is the best?
Yeah. Yeah, it's straight from the tap, mouth under the tap. It's so delicious.
Wow, okay.
Worst, Brisbane. I don't know if you've had the water up here. I think because it's not filtered properly, so it's got more minerals in it and it tastes a bit funky.
Okay, well, the worst so far is Gold Coast. That was diabolical, like so much so to the point where I was like, do I call the hotel and tell them something's gone wrong?
But were you in a high rise?
I was in the QT.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so not great.
yeah, it's just like, I don't know. This is such a riveting chat. But for me, like, do you know what's really funny? Because I used to work in radio. We had like benchmarks that we weren't allowed to talk about. And it was like, what's your favourite cheese? Meant the phone topic was really boring. And I'm just realising like, what's the best water in Australia is probably even more boring. But I just found that like, why does water taste so vastly different across the country?
Yeah, I've got no idea. Go Google Girl. We've got Google Girl here on standby, so you can go Google and see what happens. Why you can Google that, and we'll get back to that. But you know what? There was a method to the madness because the idea actually came from, I did it on the last tour, but just on my Instagram stories, and I just tested the tap water. So much engagement because it targets obviously everywhere around Australia. Everyone wants to know. There are city rivalries, like Perth wants to know if Adelaide's better water, blah, blah, blah. So the engagement goes up. And look, I haven't seen the best engagement with this series, and I don't really care, but it's like something to do in each city because you want to promote the shows. And I'm hoping that if someone sees me in Perth testing the tap water, they'll be like, oh, I wonder if he's coming to Melbourne, and they might buy a ticket. That's actually really funny.
Guys, I'm a hilarious comedian. Watch me sip and rate water.
And that's the other thing. It's the most mundane and simple thing, but it's something that I can achieve because, as you said, it is so exhausting. And one thing I've got to do is hydrate. I've got to drink the water. So I may as well film it and react to it. And I think it's funny because it's another thing like the shark fish situation where even though it's just something so simple and mundane, oh my gosh, does it get people riled up? Like people are angry if I say that their water is not good, or people really agree. And yeah, everyone's got an opinion.
I have an answer. So it's because of the source, regional treatment processes and the pipeline materials. However, Melbourne, widely considered to have the best tasting tap water. Christian.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because they use clay pipes, because I reckon PVC, copper and all that type of stuff.
Well, it also depends on weather. It says that Brisbane's is a bit funky because of like all the weather events that they have.
Oh, well, Sydney's
riveting content again.
Were you alive when the cow fell into the dam, drowned, rotted, and then all of Sydney's water made people really sick? I think it was 96.
Mad cow disease.
Yeah, I was alive.
Yeah. Do you
I think my parents got sick from that.
Oh, that makes me feel old. Yeah. We got really sick. We had to boil every bit of water,
and you had to keep buying bottles of water. You weren't alive then, were you, Matt?
No, I was alive. I was just
infant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my parents got sick from it, and they were like, housebound.
See what I mean? The water conversation could just lead to so many topics, and that's why I do it. You know?
Yeah. Good on you.
But yeah.
Can I ask? I mean, I did ask this before, and this scared me a little bit. You don't know, like, is touring? I haven't done it in so many years. Is it still like a good amount of money?
Well, I don't know how much I've made from this run. We tried to cut a lot of costs this time. So, like, you know, my rider Backstage, we kind of try and keep that as low as possible. When in hotels
we
and stuff.
We share the same, just a heads up, we share the same tour manager. And in the interim, I was like, oh, you're cutting costs on your rider. So Andrew isn't ordering 2 bottles of expensive wine anymore.
No,
that was literally the rider. Yeah, he still does that.
But he loves a red. But, you know, the hotels and stuff, like I kind of said, okay, last time we were in like 4-star hotels, I'm only there sleeping for a night because some of this tour, the logistics of the tour is like, you know, when I did the North Queensland run, which you did a full Queensland tour, I feel like back in lockdown or just afterwards, so you couldn't go state to state, so you just did a big Queensland tour.
I did.
And, you know, you would have probably been the same where it's like, perform the show, go to bed, wake up, drive 5 hours, perform the show, go to bed, wake up, drive 5 hours. And so by that point, I was like, put me in a 2-star, $90 a night motel in these places. I don't care because I literally just have to have a bed to sleep in. It doesn't need to be nice, you know? So we tried to cut all those down. I don't know, like I'll probably do a whole breakdown on the podcast of how much money I made just to let everyone know at the end because everyone is so invested, but I don't know right now.
Do you remember what you made in your first tour?
No. Do you?
Yes, because it was my first. But
yours
big
would have
paycheck.
been you would have been a lot though. So you go first, and then I'll say what I think it was.
Well, I was really lucky because mine was 2019, so I didn't have a lot of competition in terms of people didn't have much choice. But I was working full time in radio. I was trying to do a tour around Australia at the same time, and I just went, I can't do both. Left radio to do the tour, hoping that it would be successful. It was, and I made $80,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I remember that paycheck coming in. It's like the first big thing I'd ever made, and I was like, oh my God. And I walked into a Mazda dealership. I mean, I couldn't afford a Mercedes. And I walked in and I was like, can you show me the Mazda CX-3, top of the line? And I walked in and I was like, oh, yes. Heated seats, white leather interiors, a sunroof. I need all the extras. And the sales guy was lovely and he recognised me. So I was like, right, I'm going to watch me get a car for free. So I was like, yeah, okay. I'm just going to pop across the road to Toyota and see what they've got. And I was like walking out, pretending to walk out the door like I didn't want a Toyota. And I walked across it. Nothing. They didn't do anything. And then I was like, oh, what do I do? How do I get a deal? Anyway, walked back in. He gave me nothing off. Bless him. But he was like, oh, will you be financing that? And I was like, no, I will be paying cash.
It's like an old movie where you just bring out 2 bags and put it on the table. Cha-ching.
Yeah. And then I said, I also want I need a bow on the car. I want the big reveal. And he's like, well, we don't really do that at Mazda.
Oh.
But they gave me the bow, and that was amazing. And then, I think I got really complacent after that in the position that you're at, where I was like, oh, well, I guess tours just earn a lot of money. And then you just realise that just all these costs got involved in a couple of other shows and venues amped up their fees a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did one tour. And it was a bit tough.
That was it your last tour?
Yeah, it's I love getting on stage, as I'm sure you do. It's the funnest, like it's almost worth it for the 23 hours of pure torture in travel.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a 6-week tour, sold a great amount of tickets, but I think because I brought some friends along and just something like the accommodation and all the costs, and then I ended up just losing money.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say I lost I made $100,000 on the tour, but once my beautiful manager takes his commission, which had words to him about that, because he would take money. I guess this is the whole part of when you branch off to do your own thing, and you're a full-time employee that becomes their own boss. You've got to be across all the business side, all the finance side with a fine-tooth comb. This is what I've learnt. So I still love my tour manager and my actual manager, but it's not. They're spending my money. So they're obviously going to be buying all these cool things and having a great time. And like when I say cool, like expensive hotel rooms, good riders, they're going to make me feel really comfortable. And I was just like, oh, wow, this is great. Not realizing that I was paying for it all.
Yes.
And again, not their fault. And when I just, got that final, after getting $80,000 and then coming back and going, oh, I only made $13,000 out of that $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, can I have a breakdown? Like why? And then I worked out, my manager was charging his commissions on the ticket sales rather than what I took. So costs weren't coming out. So of that $100,000, he would take the 15%, which was $15,000. And I'm like, sorry, you're taking $15,000 and I'm getting 13.
Yeah, something isn't adding up.
And
there.
so
this is a different manager. This isn't your promoter.
Yeah, so I've got a tour promoter, and then I've got a just like because I think you've got a manager and a tour promoter. Yeah, and so my manager, we had that conversation, and it took a lot out of me, and in the end I was like, wow, I did a 6-week tour. And I lost $6,000.
Yeah.
And then I also, like, there's a lot of benefits in touring, but also I got to the point where I was like, oh, I could just, like, hit up Chemist Warehouse, do a sponsored post and make twice that.
Oh, I talk about that all the time. Like, it's definitely a pay cut, and that's why you have to enjoy it, and you have to get the thrill of being on stage, and you have to get the thrill of the whole process, which hasn't quite hit me yet. But I think it's like, as in, it hits me every night when I'm on stage, great. But like, when I finished Dancing Queen, the last tour, I was elated for like a year. I was just like, that's the best thing I've ever done. And I think that will come with Bring Back Glamour as well at the end of the entire tour, because it is hard when you're in it. And then after the fact, you go, wow, look at what I've done. And how often do we pat ourselves on the back these days, like, and touring and doing something big like that, you go, wow, what an achievement. But I think that the first tour that I did, because I lost money on one tour, which actually we cancelled the tour because my granddad passed away and all these other horrible things happened in my life. And so there was a tour that I did which kicked off in Adelaide, which was called Fat and Fabulous. And I remember messaging like months later, and I was like, hey, like, where's the money for that? And he's like, oh, we didn't make any. So like there's that aspect of as well that, and that's why I get a little not annoyed, well, kind of annoyed at people who are like, come to Darwin, do a show in Darwin. I'm like, do you know how expensive, like I would lose like $5,000 if I did a show in Darwin at this point. And I think as well, it's really interesting that you're like, wow, I made $80,000, because never in, like, even with a Dancing Queen, I think it was like less than 20 for the entire thing of Dancing Queen. And we did 16 shows for Dancing Queens, because I average like the shows, the other thing as well is I spend a lot more money than you. Like, you, with all due respect, get to show up and wear whatever you want. Whereas like
I spend no money. I'm a mic and shitty clothing.
Yeah. Whereas I am doing the dresses, which are obviously custom made. We've got nails, we've got hair, we've got makeup, we've got lashes, we've got jewelry, we've got shoes, which someone like me, we've got the high heels that end up as kitten heels within a few weeks. So we've got to keep buying shoes, because there's things that you have to keep buying as well. Like the jewelry gets a bit dirty and gross, and you try and clean it and you go, no. So you get another set of jewelry, and all the rest of that. So I know that I do have like a lot more costs than any other comedian because I choose to like do all of those sort of things. I kind of wish, and in fact, next time I think my tour is going to be called Stripped Back Naked and Nothing. You know, I'm like, I'm not wearing anything on stage. No makeup, no clothes, nothing. Just me, red raw, because it's too expensive. So I don't know. I will give everyone an update. I'm happy to tell everyone how much I make. I hope it's 80 grand, but I'll tell you right now, it's not. It's nowhere near. I'm expecting like about half that, I reckon.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
But you make a good point that we could just, do something else. We could Chemist Warehouse, for example, low effort sponsored vid for like a lot more money. And I feel like that is something that has rung true to me like the entire time, because I actually, when I tour, I also take a break from sponsored content, which no one fucking realizes, by the way. But you may or may not have noticed that pretty much from like, I want to say like February or March, sometime in February or March, which was 2 months before tour kicked off, I paused all sponsored content and I didn't pick it up until a couple weeks ago when we were at the end of this first run of the tour. And so it was like a good 3 months off any income at all. And of course with tour, I don't get paid at all until all is said and done at the very end and all the costs have been taken out. So basically made no money for a good few months there. And that was one thing that I really struggled with, was like, oh my God, like I need to, like I could just do a TikTok and make a bunch of money right now. Like, but it's about sacrificing that because it's a passion project, really. It's a bit of charity for myself, isn't it? It's a bit of
charity for the people.
No, for me. Yeah. It's my charity work for me. Charity work. Take a pay cut to enhance me,
Yep. Yeah.
And I will say the growth that comes from it. Like, do you feel like you grew from doing your tours personally? What did you learn?
I learnt
that money's good.
Yeah. No, I've always been very financially driven, but I've learnt there's a few things. I am not a social person. I find it incredibly taxing to meet people. I love performing for people, and I think it's incredibly important to have that face time. And I love that element of it. The meet and greets after the show I found really tough, only because a lot of people were maybe very inebriated and personal space becomes an issue. And I do think I've probably got traits of autism and ADHD, so I would just like freak out in the meet and greets. And I love Andrew, but he actually handles them really well, because he's an older gentleman, very gruff, very straight, and he'll be like, right, get in, get a photo, get out. And so he sort of...
That's literally how he... That's literally how he... I've had to have conversations with him, though, and go, you can't do that because it reflects badly on me. Because I'm a Drew Barrymore in a meet and greet. I go, hello, come here. Oh, my God, you're beautiful. Like, I'm like total opposite to you. I'm like grabbing onto them going, Drew Barrymore vibes,
Yeah. Well, I think but also like, that's one thing I've had to get used to is I recently was on radio with my absolute favourite human being of all time, Angela Catterns, 702 ABC Sydney. I grew up listening to her. I was on her show and I had like a full meltdown, like shaking. Like I was so nervous. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's how people feel. I know tickets on myself, but if that's how people feel when they meet me, and how important Angela was in my life. Like, it's so wonderful when people talk about, I watched your really terrible videos about guessing paint colours and it got me through COVID or cancer or all of that stuff, and it means a lot. So you've got that, which is it's so great to meet them, but that's mixed in with Sue, who's about 4 bottles deep. That's like, she wants to kiss. I've had so many people just grab my dick.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm offended because no one's ever done that to me.
Give it time.
Although it is tucked so far up when I'm performing, I wouldn't find it anyway.
I don't have an excuse. I'm like, oh yes, mine's tucked away. Yes. But I think touring's important for meeting people. But it is just It's just a lot.
Well, I want to continue the touring conversation, but to do that, we're going to have to go into my royal flush. So play the track.
Please be upstanding for the royal flush.
Well, we've spoken a lot about touring. Let's keep that going because my royal flush this week is something that is very exciting. Well, it's not exciting, but I'm excited to talk about it because Melanie Bracewell, fabulous comedian, host of the Cheap Seats. What? Do you do you love her?
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yes.
And I'm here for this. Go on.
Mel Bracewell has a few days ago come out with she first posted a tweet, right? And the tweet said, "You got to feel for Hughesy." Oh, sorry, I've just lost it. Hang on. Let me get it back up again. I hate when you do that. You get something prepared and then TikTok just refreshes. Oh. But a few days ago, Melanie Bracewell wrote a tweet that said, "You got to feel for Hughesy. He's living from his tenant's paycheck to tenant's paycheck." Of course, Hughesy's come out recently, like very anti-government, going on rants about the housing crisis, and a few people are doing an eye roll because Hughesy's got multiple houses, and didn't he buy all those houses on the block something like that?
Look, if you're unfamiliar, Dave Hughes is sort of like a quintessential Australian comedian. He's been around. Used to host the Glass House, might be like years and years and years ago. Loved the show.
You are so
I've
old.
sort of worked with him in radio, sort of. We're in the same building. And yeah, he's just sort of, it's just, I'm concerned for
He's been a bit unhinged. The rants have been mainly about like Anthony Albanese, the federal budget coming out, the negative gearing. I've got no idea what any of that means. Oh, what a life it would be to have an investment property. My God, honestly. But we'll get into that in close friends if that's all right.
Okay,
Let's talk about that.
Absolutely.
Need some advice.
Ask me how much I spent. Yeah.
But I think I think if I was doing 80K tours, maybe I'd have an investment property as well. But that's the thing, you would have sold way more tickets than me. That's why I'm making pennies compared to you.
I'm not buying houses from tours.
Oh, so true. Okay. All right. We'll get into that in close
We're going to
friends,
talk about that.
Yeah. But Melanie Bracewell wrote that tweet. She then made this video in response.
The other day I wrote this pretty harmless joke about Hughesy, that he's living from his tenant's paychecks to tenant's paycheck. You know, just a bit of fun. He's a battler just trying to put 8 roofs over his head, you know. And the whole thing about freedom of speech is that, like, we're also free to make fun of you if we think that you're maybe the guy with like 100 houses isn't really looking out for the best interests of the battler. Anyway, he gave me an essay to read on my birthday.
So let me read the essay. There's not everything's there, but he talks about the corruption of Labor governments in Victoria and federally is sending the country completely broke. That's my focus in politics. I'm sick of politics. Can you do a Dave Hughes impersonation, by the way?
Yeah, I'm just so sick of all of the Labor government.
Don't clip that. Don't clip that. Don't.
Yeah, the corruption by Labor governments in Victoria and federally is sending the country completely broke.
Look, I will say, like, I do. There's a point now because. Are you going to get into the other?
Yes. We'll get there. We're setting up the storyline. We're setting up the storyline.
Okay, setting up the storyline, and then
Mel posted that video, right? And then obviously Hughesy's come back at her, and then she decided to then post another TikTok, which detailed the fact that years ago, Hughesy apparently peed in her cup backstage at a comedy show because they're both comedians. They've obviously done a show together, and apparently he's known for pissing in cups backstage. Like, this is a known thing in the industry that Dave Hughes pisses in people's cups, and he pissed in Mel Bracewell's cup at some stage.
Did you see his reply?
No.
His reply was, "Oh, do you want the cup back?" Which was pretty funny. Like, that's like, yeah.
Go on.
I'm genuinely worried about him, and it's gone from him being like unrelatable. He owns 1 million houses to, you know, like, I think he just needs to step away, and he needs to just take a moment. Or he's just seen what Carl Stefanovic's doing and gone, "Oh, if I just go fully right wing, I'll have a whole new audience." I'm like genuinely worried for this. Like, from human to human, I'm worried. I think he's very out of touch with the things that he's saying. But like, when do we sort of step in and like? I think he was of sound mind when he was pissing in jars.
Yeah, and he did explain, I will say, he explained that these particular venues that he's pissed in cups in, he said he's done it, he has confirmed that he's done it during his career, but only when there's no toilet backstage, which I've never been in a venue where there's no toilet backstage. What's going on there? Like, you should have one available for your performers. But he has admitted to pissing in cups. That is something that he will take credit for.
I don't think that's appropriate. Even if there's no toilet backstage, just surely he'd have someone or a venue person to just escort him to the bathroom, go into a cubicle, piss, and then go back to your dressing room.
I did see online that
he does this. He just jumps in and starts talking. You'll get used to it.
There was another comedian that was saying he did it because he didn't want to go out and to the foyer amongst the people who were attending.
Which is fair enough. If I had to do that, I'd probably piss in a cup too.
That's why you take a handler.
Yeah.
You would not piss in
I'd piss I'll tell you what.
I'd piss in a cup, and that's a great...
If I was desperate...
You've already done it!
No, never backstage, but I'll tell you what. Can I tell you a story, which is not my proudest moment? But basically, one time I was going to a music festival and I was living on the Central Coast, and so we were going to the music festival in Sydney. We had to take a big coach, right? And the bus drivers they won't stop anywhere, and if you need to make a stop for the bathroom, like, it needs to be a scheduled stop and all the rest of that, right? And they had a bathroom on the coach, which is the whole reason we booked it, because we knew that you couldn't do that. Well, the toilet was out of order, so no one could use the toilet. We didn't know that till we got on the bus. And so we'd all peed just before we'd left, and there's 40 of us on the bus, right? And there was a bucket at the back of the bus, which the bus driver said, the toilet's broken. If there is an emergency, and you must need it because I can't stop, you can piss in the bucket. And all of us are like, none of us are pissing in the bucket. Well, halfway down the freeway, all of us need to go because we're all drinking alcohol, and you know what it's like. So everyone in the bus needed to piss in the bucket, and we were all just in our seats. The other thing was there were so many people needing to pee at the same time. We're like, can you please stop? We don't want to piss in a bucket, because it was also mainly girls as well. So squashing over a bucket on a moving bus on the freeway.
Whilst the bus is going 80 kilometres.
110. Well, I mean, buses, probably 80, but it's 110 on the freeway. And so we're like, can you please stop? He's like, no, I will not stop, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, girls, we're going to have to piss in the bucket. And there were lots of boys on as well, the boyfriends and stuff. So anyway, we all had brought on cups and stuff that we were obviously drinking out of, or bottles that we were drinking out of. And I think I had run out of alcohol, and I had one of those cruiser mud shakes.
You drank your own piss.
Let me tell the story. So we had one of those cruiser mud shakes, and so that was not a good choice, by the way, and never have one of those. And so I was like, I need to pee. So I'm sitting in my seat on the coach, and I'm pissing into the cruiser mud shake bottle. Well, it gets to a point, first of all, disgusting, mixing with mud shake, but it gets to a point where I go, oh shit, there's not enough room in this bottle for my piss. And I'm drunk. And I don't know if girls are the same way, but once you start, it is quite hard to just stop the flow, and it does get painful if you just stop the flow halfway through. So I've tried to stop the flow, but I'm drunk, and so I've stopped the flow, and I'm like, I need another bottle. And I just hand the pissy muddy shake to the person next to me, and I'm like, give me another bottle. And I go again, that bottle fills as well. So anyway, then you tip that into the bucket, right? We're all good and well. It's tipped into the bucket, and
just no one's drunk any piss.
No one's drunk any piss. No one drinks any piss at all. Anyway, so the bucket by the end of it is to the brim, and you can imagine mud shake cruiser and everyone's piss and everything else going on. It looks ridiculous. And so anyway, we get to the music festival and we're like, okay, bye, and then we leave, and then we had the same coach on the way back. When we come back, the bus driver's standing at the front of the door like this, going, who the fuck pissed in the bucket? And we're like, you told us we could piss in the bucket. And he said, if it was an emergency. And we were like, well, you wouldn't stop, and we all need to pee. That's an emergency. And so he was really angry. So he was like, someone needs to get on that bus and clean up that bucket. And so yes, because he didn't know about it. So he as he kept driving, it had sloshed like everywhere, and then he'd seen it, so it was all over the floor. So anyway, after like 12 hours at a music festival, no one would take one for the team. So I went, fuck now, give me the mop, and on I get. So after we're done at the music festival, I'm there mopping this bus, and it's just mudslide and piss, and then I had to tip the bucket out, and then we're on our way, and the poor thing was so angry about the whole thing. But that's the story of when I had to piss in a mudshake bottle on a coach to a music festival.
That's vastly different from, I just don't want to meet the people, so I'm just going to piss in, whose cup's this? It says Mel on it, and then just piss in it.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, like, when you've toured, have you been backstage with other comedians? Because, for example, I've done like your comedy festivals or the Comics Lounge in Melbourne. Like I do my set, then they have a variety night straight after me. So have you had any rogue situations with comedians?
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
I actually can't talk about it.
Oh, really?
I can tell you off air.
Oh.
There was one comedian that I didn't realise was on before me who I actually really love. We're Friendly Geordies. And so I'd watched him for years on YouTube, and then I just walked in to at the Comics Lounge in Melbourne, just into it's just one dressing room, and he was there. And I was like, and he's like, I just didn't know what to do. And he was really lovely, and everything was good, and got some selfies, and I talked to, this was just after also his producer had been arrested by the federal police. So there was a lot to discuss. The other person I bumped into plays a persona, is not the person that they say that they are, is actually, well, it's just, was quite nice behind the scenes, and like the conversation was, it was really interesting. There's a very right wing and a crazy person online, and it was just really interesting to talk to them. And then when I mentioned it to other people, they were like, "Oh yeah, he's just playing a character." And I was like, "What? He is?" And who else? Bumped into. Oh my God, Aaron Chen.
Yeah.
Was on before me in Perth. I about died because he's on Fisk, and he's like blowing up in the States at the moment, and just an absolutely lovely person. And it's like when they know who you are, you're just like, stop it. Oh my God, you said my full name, and you just like lose your shit. Because has that happened to you?
Yeah, well, my thing is I didn't really know the comedy scene before I started. So I actually got to meet people organically and then figure out who they were. So my first run at Sydney Comedy Festival, I shared a dressing room for the whole week with Lizzie who is just beautiful. So, and I obviously didn't know. And actually, I think at the time she wasn't that established. Like she was kind of, maybe not starting out, maybe she'd been doing it for a while, but she hadn't hit the big time yet, so we were still like trying to learn the ropes and stuff together. And then now she's doing all of this stuff, and, she's on all those panel shows and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So love that she's gone on to have so much success in the space. And then I also shared a dressing room in Melbourne with Anissa. I don't know her last name, but Anissa, can you look up what her name is? Go Google girl, sorry. But she was backstage and she was performing after my show, and she was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And we were just having a quick chat. She was great. And then she went out and she smashed her set, had the audience in hysterics, and I was absolutely loving it. And I was like, she is going to be the next bloody big thing. And now she's everywhere as well on, I think, like Taskmaster and those panel shows. And have you been paying attention and talking about your generation?
So good. Yeah. I had a comedian called Leela Verhees open for me. Now, I don't know if you've seen Lesbian Space Princess. It's won all these awards. It's an animation that she has written. And I don't usually, I was like, openers, I didn't know how to, I was like, oh yeah, well, I can have an opener, but I get worried.
That they're going to be better?
1000%. And so the first time I had an opener, it was basically Leela, and as she was performing, I was just like, music, laughing, full volume, start to finish. And I was like, shit. She was so brilliant. And then I came out, and everyone, and then in the meet and greet line, all the people were like, you're open. Like, Leela is the funniest person I've ever seen. Great job on choosing her. Saved the show, really. But I just loved, like, she wrote an animation which has won all these awards. It's been nominated. And so it's like seeing these people have just such great success is also so rewarding.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I'm going to have some openers at my Adelaide show, and I'm scared about that because the thing about the openers are they only have 10 minutes, so they do all their best jokes.
Oh, my
Whereas
God.
we're on for an hour, so we've got to take them on a journey, you know. We've got to get a laugh and then take you down and then back up and then down and back up. Whereas they're just laughter the whole 10 minutes. And so the Adelaide show, I'm a little bit like, they're going to love them better than me. But anyway.
Right? But I will say this, because I had Ting Lim open for me in Brisbane, who it was like 10 minutes where I went out to watch her and I was crying the whole time. And what I realised is they G up the crowd so much and they get them to this really great level where they're just like, we're laughing at it, like, yes, woo! And then you come out and you cash in on the fact that they've done all this work to bring the audience up to this level.
Yeah.
And it can be really beneficial. I luckily haven't had any that have gone south, because if they don't bring it up, they bring it down. And so you're like, now you've got to go out and, all right, get them back.
But everyone's there to see you, so surely that'd be fine.
Well, yeah. What do you open your show with?
What do you mean in terms of like your walkout song?
Yeah.
I do a whole 2-minute fiasco of introduction. It's actually really camp and you know, this one's really dramatic because the whole point of this show is like, it's a really political show and the world's so ugly. I'm trying to bring back glamour. So I'm here to save everyone. And so it's like this really dramatic, this inspiration from Death Becomes Her, the musical on Broadway, which I saw.
Yes.
And so it's like this really dramatic. We do... well, I don't want to spoil the show for anyone, but I'm going to send you a clip, all right? I'm going to send you a clip because the starting is like full on like...
Good.
Big show.
I learnt... I would come out to like Kylie Minogue and do like a full like dance routine, and then I'm out of breath for like the entire rest of the show because I'm so unfit. But I got some feedback from a comedian that I really respected who had done a show before me. He snuck in to watch, and had said that it was such a great opening because it brought everyone. They just got so excited immediately because his comedy, this was Friendly Geordie said this, and because his comedy is political, and so he's not a loud, showy comedian, and so he has to work to sort of get the audience in and up. Whereas he's like, you're a genius. You get them up straight away with Kylie coming out, full pizzazz, waving your flag around. And it's like you get them there so quickly and then you're able to sustain that. And I didn't realise that that's what I was doing. And then I learnt that you go real big, you bring the audience in and you sort of get them up and clapping and you play something fun and you really have to lift the mood.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a show where you thought, oh shit, I'm just bombing the whole time?
Yeah, there's been a few on this tour as well.
Yes.
But it's due to outside sources. It's not me. I know that I am doing well and I know that the show is good because it's getting a reception everywhere else. It's outside sources. So, for example, I had a shit show where like the heater was on full blast and you never want the heater on in a comedy show. I know I'm repeating myself for the scrollers. I've said this a few times, but like you want it super cold because you want people on edge. If they're warm, they'll get sleepy and they'll want to fall asleep and like they're too comfortable. You don't want them warm because I do my tours in winter. You don't want them warm because then they're like, oh, it's so cozy, I might just fall asleep. You want them freezing cold, so you're like, what the fuck, someone turn the heater on, so that when you come out and tell a joke, they are like on edge and then, you know, they're paying attention.
Have you ever had someone fall asleep?
Yeah, Hannah Conda.
Oh, yeah.
Hannah Conda fell asleep at my show.
Oh my
and
God.
I didn't call her out in the moment, but I think I called her out on the podcast when we had her as a guest on my other podcast that I had because she had just flown in from like a drag race tour and she was in the UK or at DragCon or something. And so I just look in the second row, there's Hannah Conda snoring.
Yeah. So many people. I get so many. It's all the husbands that get dragged along by their wives or girlfriends. And then they sit there and they cross their arms and they look stony faced. And then sometimes I'll be doing it and I'll look down and I'm like, oh my God. And I initially took it real personally. I was like, oh my God, my show is so boring. And then it throws you because you're like, right now, all you do is focus on trying to wake the person up and then hooking them in to the show. So I used to forget about the rest of the audience. But Andrew called me out on it. He's like, when that happens, just let them go. They're not here for you. Girlfriends drag them in. Don't lose focus. If someone's there and not enjoying it, focus on the people that are, because that'll lift you up.
Yeah.
And I also learnt of Friday night, Saturday night shows vastly different from the Thursday and Sunday because they're the school nights. And I didn't know that when I was first touring. So I was doing Friday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, and then my first Sunday show, I remember standing on stage. My stuff, everything dropped. Like the laughs weren't coming where they usually do.
Yes.
Or they were like light chuckles.
Yes.
And for the whole show, all I was thinking was just get through it. Just get through it. It'll be over soon. They're not laughing at anything. They hate you. And you're trying to like just push through. And at the end, at the meet and greet, everyone loved it. And I was like, you fucking bastard, why weren't you laughing?
Yeah.
And then again, Andrew, tour manager, was like, that was a great show. And I was like, Andrew, no one, you could drop a pin and hear it.
I know.
He goes, nah, that's a typical Sunday audience.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why weren't you telling me these things? and you learn a lot
Well, that's
about
the thing.
audience. And you just,
he doesn't tell you because he wants you to learn it yourself. You know?
Exactly. And that was the fun of it, is now I can go into a Sunday show going, all right, I know where my maximum laughter it's going to sound like, or I know the audience that are coming to a Sunday show are not your rowdy drunks that come on a Friday or a Saturday. And then it's also different cities laugh at very different things, which it was so exciting to be in the middle of a joke and there's no supposed to be laughter here, and then the whole crowd's laughing. You're like, why the fuck are they laughing here? And then you get to the punchline and it's like crickets.
Yeah.
So that was, I think that's what I miss about touring, is just, you know, when you make videos online, it's just point and shoot, edit, move on to the next thing, and you're not really engaging with the audience. Sure, you can reply to comments, but it's not as fun as when it's live.
Absolutely
now I miss touring.
I know. Well, I did think that this might, inspire you to do another one. And I think you know enough now to make it really, really successful and make sure that you make a profit from it. I want to know, though, do you get nervous before you go on stage?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I used to get really nervous. It would happen maybe just 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes before, and I would get a nervous pain in my hand. So when I know that I'm legitimately nervous when I get this pain in my palm. It's really bizarre. And so that used to happen. And I think that was mostly because when you're stepping out into the unknown and you're in the spotlight, it's so terrifying. And so the nerves come from a new show because you don't know if there's going to be laughs and where they're going to be. And so that's why I've learned why a lot of comedians will tour a show in smaller venues. Like a lot of the bigger ones will tour in the smaller venues to build it, get rid of the stuff that doesn't get laughs, and they know exactly their timing and everything. So that made sense to me. But I was like, I don't have time for that. I'm just going to do... you just get the shit shows at the start and the good shows at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, like... I don't really get nervous anymore. The nerves stop immediately when I walk out on stage.
Yeah.
Or immediately when you get that first laugh and you know you've got him.
Yeah. For sure.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. So I used to be sick. Like I used to stand behind the curtain and go, why the fuck have I decided to do this? Like no one's told me to do this. I've done this myself. And why am I doing this? And then the music is up right up until when they announce my name and then the curtain opens and then it is fine. So I'm with you on that. But this tour is so different. I actually have been able to just get on stage, no nerves, not even opening night with the like doing the show for the first time for everyone, which next time I'm definitely going to do test audiences like you were saying. Like I'm just going to see how they go and just do like shows to 30 people and just like see how it goes, and tickets can be like $5 just to like come and see the show and get some feedback on it
and practice it
and then also the Central Coast I was kind of nervous for because that was going back to my hometown, so you know, performing for friends and family and whatnot, but one thing that I have done this year, especially performing in regional towns, because this time we went regional as well as major cities, and
how fun.
I was unsure how regional towns would respond to me, and they're all a bit different. Like Albury really surprised me. Albury loved me.
But the straight men too.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah, but I get them on board real quick because I include the straight men in the show pretty much from the get-go.
Yep.
And the other thing as well is it's very similar to when I was a DJ. Now, I used to DJ at a venue called Home the Venue. I was one of their resident DJs down on Darling Harbour.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I know. Big show. They had the confetti cannons, Cirque du Soleil performers in the air. I felt like a real star, you know.
Wow.
But what would happen is, like, I would come into the room and all the straight men would be like, I was obviously in hair and makeup, dress and all the rest of it. And all the straight men would be like, what the fuck is this? And they would move to like the back of the room and it'd be all the girls being like, I love you, woo! You know, and then I'll be like, down the front. And all the straight men would back off. And then
let's go get
they'd
drinks.
they'd be like, what the fuck's going on?
beer.
And then about like an hour and a half into my set, it was a total shift. All the girls were on the side going, babe, let's go home. And all the boys were at the front going,
Really?
That's... And I feel it's the same with comedy shows. Like I will come out on stage in my dress and my makeup and everything and all the straight men will be like, what the fuck have you brought me to? Like, fuck me dead. And then by the end of it, they're pissing. And the straight men, actually, I've had a few occasions where the straight men are the ones that line up for the meet and greet.
Yes.
As in they go, no, we'll meet him. And then the girlfriend gets there and goes, sorry, I wasn't going to bother you, but he really wanted to say hi.
Yes.
And the straight men are like,
It's
I
so
love
funny.
you. So it's like,
But
it's hilarious.
But that's also why I love meeting people, because you realise that, you know, straight men are obviously, they put up that front where it's like, oh no, I don't want to appear to be gay or like effeminate in any way. And then when they realise, oh, you're actually quite funny and you're talking about things that are so relatable to my life, and then it doesn't become this thing about a homosexual doing a comedy show. It's just a person.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they lean into it and then they love it. And it's, I actually really do miss it.
Oh, you're going to announce it to her next
No,
week,
I'm
I reckon.
absolutely not.
Do you
No.
have any announcements for us today? Are we going on a big tour? I know that we could talk for hours and hours, but we do need to get to your royal flush because this is going to be a long episode as it is. We haven't even gotten to your royal flush yet. So what is the best thing? It can be, we break the rules. It could be the best or the worst thing on the internet. What's the best thing you've seen on the internet this week?
The best thing is Play-Doh have released a toy for adults and I cannot wait. So, did you used to eat Play-Doh as a kid?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
100%.
So delicious.
Yeah.
So delicious. Mum used to make it too, and she'd make it was just flour and salt and just you'd make a creation, then you'd eat it, and then you'd be horrifically constipated for a week. So I've got great fond memories of Play-Doh. But it's notoriously just associated with like young kids. But I saw a video recently of this contraption that Play-Doh were bringing out, and I've spent an ungodly sum of money because it's only available in America. I spent like hundreds of dollars to get it shipped here to Brisbane. It is, so you get like a little thin, it's a tube. So imagine like a pipe, a tube, and then it's got like these slits cut into it all the way down.
Oh, yes.
Now you put a colour, orange.
Yep.
Then you put another colour
Yep.
to a certain level, pink, and then we'll say red. Now at the base of the tube is a disc. You slide the disc up and it like extrudes all of the colours out, just enough, and then you twist it off and you've made the most stunning flower. And so you have all these different tubes and you make the most gorgeous bouquet
of flowers, Play-Doh flowers.
out of Play-Doh.
Oh,
I don't know if that speaks to you, but the nana in me, like,
Not
I
at
just
all.
can't wait to make. But then it's also okay. You're not a crafter. You're a crafter.
well, if I have to be, like I rhinestone the dresses, but a crafter, oh, nah.
So nothing about Play-Doh for adults excites you.
No, not really, but I do like Lego. Like, you know, but fancy Lego. Like, you know, the bouquet of flowers of Lego, I'd make that. But I
Listen
wouldn't
to
make
your
the
tone.
Eiffel Tower.
I can tell you're being absolute. You're like, yes, the Legos.
I wouldn't do the Lego if I didn't have to, you know? Like, I can't think of anything worse than doing a puzzle or something. And that's kind of Lego in a extreme form.
Yeah, well, my house is filled with Lego flowers. Every time there's a Lego flower, bought. And so that's why I was really excited about Play-Doh, because it's just... Okay, well, let's move on.
No, I'm excited that you're excited for Play-Doh.
Yeah.
I would
I
like
cannot
them to
wait.
bring back sea monkeys. I want sea monkeys for adults.
Okay, they haven't left.
Well, Play-Doh hasn't left either.
No. But Play-Doh's bringing out. Okay, this is vastly different. Play-Doh is bringing out adult Play-Doh. Sea monkeys still exist.
Well, I would like adult. Oh, well, I guess adults sea
Don't
monkeys.
compare Play-Doh to sea monkeys, please. Deeply offended by that.
Sea monkeys
yeah.
kind of look like little sperm, and I just thought there's already adult sea monkeys out there.
Have you
hasn't
seen
there?
the South Park episode?
No.
Oh my God. Where Cartman has to go because they get some sea monkeys and then they all die and he has to go and get some more. And he comes back with sea monkeys and they go, "Where'd you get them from?" And he goes, "Oh, I just found a homeless man told me to close my eyes and suck them out of a straw." So brilliant. So brilliant.
God.
Absolutely. Yeah, they look like sperm.
Oh my God. And a reminder that this episode is brought to you by. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my
do
God,
have,
that's hilarious.
I do have some other things that
Okay, yeah, what else?
I thought were really interesting. I found out like what certain sayings, what they meant.
Oh, yeah?
Like caught red-handed, that's an obvious one.
Is it? Caught red-handed. Because they had red ink on the banknotes.
Oh, for fire. Blood. Murderer.
Oh!
Caught red-handed.
Sorry, my mind didn't go to murder. I went to petty theft.
Spill the beans.
Spill the beans. I don't know.
No. So they used to, in Greek mythology, vote for people by putting beans in jars, right?
Yep.
And so when they went to carry the jars to count them, if someone spilt the beans, you could see how many people had voted for that person.
Oh.
And then mad as a hatter. So hatters used mercury and they went insane. So people that used to make hats would actually go insane.
Wow.
At any, stop me, I've got so
No,
many.
keep going,
I'm
keep
getting
going,
bored.
keep going,
Okay,
keep going.
Saved by the bell.
I got no idea.
So in boxing, the bell saves you from being knocked out or like getting really, really horrifically injured. So that's saved by the bell. Letting the cat out of the bag.
Okay, let me think about this. I'm thinking let the cat out of the bag. No, I've got nothing.
So when you go to a market and you'd be like, I would like to buy that piglet. They pick the piglet up and put it in the bag, but what they would do behind your back is they'd just put a kitten in it and give it to you. And so if you didn't check, you would be getting like a dud. Basically, you weren't getting a pig to raise. So you get home and you let the cat out of the bag. Oh. So the cat can come out of the bag. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just love how passionate you are about it.
I am obsessed. Bite the bullet.
Bite the bullet. I've got no idea.
When doctors were doing surgeries or things, or you had to reposition a dislocated shoulder, they give you a bullet to bite on to distract you from the pain.
Like an actual bullet from a gun?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, again, I'm getting these from the internet. No idea how true they are.
Yeah, we always say anything we say on this podcast, like fact check it because who knows
Yeah.
what's going on.
And then the last one, it costs an arm and a leg.
Costs an arm and a leg. I'm saying that back in the day to purchase things at a market, you would have to take in a pig's leg or a pig's arm.
It's really
That's what it
bartering with animal legs. No, I mean, you're sort of close. So it would basically be you were selling like limbs. Like if you had a fake limb, that is the same price as something like a limb cost you, like a human limb. So say you had a fake leg.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's the same price as a fake leg. Like that costs me an arm. I'm totally...
That one's I'm sus on that one. I think
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sus on
more
that one
correct
too.
than you on that, and I
Actually,
just made it up.
I reckon...
I reckon back in the old peasant days at the markets, they were going, I can give you a chicken arm and a pig leg, and that'll
With a bite
cost,
taken out
for
of
a
it.
bag of rice or something.
bag of
Well,
rice.
a wing, a chicken, your cow's arm and cows only have legs. Well, pigs only have legs. What has arms and legs as an animal?
Gorilla.
What else? What else has arms and legs?
Octopus.
No, cows have legs. They're 4 legs. Yeah, don't laugh at me for being
T-Rex.
stupid and you're just as stupid. Yeah, I don't
He's
know.
just a pretty face, let's be real. Can I give you one more? One more, and then I promise I won't give you, because this one, I want to end on a good one.
Okay.
It's turn a blind eye.
Turn a blind eye. So if your eye was blind, they would do a surgery to turn it back to where it was meant to be.
Wow, yeah, good on you. You gave it a go. In 1801, there was a captain of a ship who was missing an eye. His name was Horatio. Now, he was waiting for a signal off in the distance that was going to tell him to retreat from a war that he was heading into. And the signal came, and so he put his binocular thing to look for the signal to his blind eye because he wanted to go to war. So he didn't want to see the signal. He was wanting to go to war. So he was like, I can't see the signal because he's looking through the binocular in his blind eye. So then he went to war.
Okay, and when did he turn?
Well, no, he turned a blind eye. So he put the binocular up to his eye, turned to look for the signal, went, I can't see it because he's blind, and then went to war.
Nice.
Wow, I bet you love having me as a guest on the show. Thank you.
We spoke about such riveting stuff today, from the taste of tap water to turning a blind eye. This has been an incredible episode, and I know our scrollers are going to absolutely love this. Go and send Christian some love. You can find him anywhere on the internet and everywhere on the internet at Christian Hull. Just search his name absolutely anywhere. But we'll have all these links down below as well. I have so enjoyed this, but you're going to stick around and actually do a bit of close friends with us. We've got more to talk to you about very briefly.
I've got places to be.
Oh, we can go. I can do it myself. I can just bitch about you the whole time.
No. I'm actually looking forward to Close Friends.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be very, very fun. Thank you for listening, scrollers. Make sure.
Can I go, or should I pee in this bottle?
No,
really
go.